series, Indigenous design series, where we profile Indigenous artists, companies, anything to help us with indigenizing our projects, improving Indigenous content within the building. So this is the series. All of it's posted on our Sharing Circle YouTube site as well as podcast. Thank you, Arnaud, who does a lot of this for me and is instrumental in improving our Indigenous stories as we move through our Indigenous reconciliation and our pathway to reconciliation. I'm going to start off with a quick land acknowledgement as well. So my name is Julie Matthews. I'm the Director of Tenant Communications for the RP1 account. And thank you for spending the next hour with us. I would like to acknowledge the Chippewas of Georgina. I live in Keswick, Ontario, and they're my close neighbors, and they are the caretakers of the water, Lake Simcoe, of this and Georgina Island as well. So I would like to also acknowledge the BGIS wampum belt behind me, which was created by a two-spirited Indigenous youth from Doki's First Nation. Doki's First Nation is just south of Sudbury. It's on the beautiful French River. And he made this beautiful friendship wampum belt to demonstrate the BGIS colors, the two-spirited of the two different figures, as well as the colors of the medicine wheel representing all of the different cultures working together on reconciliation. Today we have several artists that we are presenting, and I hope, Martina, are you on? Okay, Adam, are you on? Okay, well, Sharif, it might be you and I today. So do you want me to start showing your website a little bit and then give you a second, or would you like to start chatting? Oh, your mic is on.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can.
Okay, well, maybe I'll just introduce myself and then we can go to my website and show that video.
Okay, perfect.
Okay. Good morning, everybody. My name is Sharifa Marsden. I'm Anishinaabe Ojibwe from Mississaugas of Scugog Island First Nation, and that's in Ontario. I'm sorry, there's little clickies poking up. I was invited to just come and talk about my artwork and introduce myself to you and bring you along on kind of a journey of like what I do and why I create. Yeah, and we can go to our website and we could show this video that we created for just to tell a story about how I go about making murals and how I include mentorship with young Indigenous female and two-spirit artists to like pass on what I learned and to the next generation, and also to encourage new young and emerging artists to create more.
Okay, so I'll start with I started playing it before, so hopefully, there we go. You should be able to hear it.
My mother was a painter, and
can everybody hear it?
From a long
I can't see it.
Line of strong.
We can hear it, but can't see it.
There's writers.
Okay, hold on. I'll try again. Okay, I'm gonna just start. Can everybody see it?
Yeah, it looks good.
Okay, good. And it should work, the sound.
My mother was a painter, and I come from a long line of strong women artists. There's writers, there's teachers, and they all have solidified in me my creativity, my creative side. They've always supported me through the years of my education and self-exploration of art and where I want to go with art. And then they also taught me to stay connected to my Anishinaabe roots, to stay connected to the culture, and to learn as much as I can in cultural arts. So like in beadwork and leatherwork. Those are my early years, and that's where a lot of my designs come from. Like a lot of my designs that I use in painting and in jewelry, it all comes from that tradition of beadwork and the florals that are in our regalia, and we dance with those designs, and those designs have stories and they're passed down from generation to generation.
Great.
There should be one. I think there was one that was about like my recent mural project that I mentored some young artists in. I don't know if it's on there. It should be on there somewhere.
Keep going.
Let's see. Let's see.
Oh, this one?
There's-
The gold? No.
No, let's see. Maybe it would be on a YouTube.
Yeah, would it be under your name in YouTube?
It's possible. I thought it was on there, sorry. Yeah, could you check?
Yeah, I'll
Station?
check. If you go ahead and continue to speak about your background, that would be wonderful. I'll stop sharing and look for it.
Okay, so where it began is my mom, she was a painter, and she was a traditional style painter. And I used to sit at the table when I was like in my early teens, like 12, 13, and just watch her paint at night. When all the kids were sleeping, she would turn the lights down low and she would have like just a lamp on the table and she would paint. And I could sit there and I could watch her paint as long as I didn't bump the table. And it kind of just made me like fall in love with painting, because of the piece that it brought to her and the piece that it brought to me as I was learning, and also as began to learn how to paint. It brings me to the center of who I am, and it also is something that connects me to traditional story and traditional design. I'm really interested in old stories and how they connect to um, like how we design our animal symbols, and like how the woodland style came about. I I'm influenced strongly by the masters of like Norval Morrisseau and Daphne Ojic. And more so like Daphne Ojic is probably one of my favorite artists. So she's a female artist, and I know that it's really challenging for a female artist to be successful in the arts. And the number, I guess the percentage of female artists is really low. So I just would really look up to her for being successful as an artist, because I know it's very challenging. And I wanted to share with you a painting that I just finished. It's on a drum, and it kind of explains my style and like what I love to create and how I like to paint. This is on an elk hide drum, and it's, you can see, kind of translucent. But I got this frame that was given to me, and I stretched this hide myself over the drum, so it has a nice deep tone. But this is about the heartberry flowers, and it's called Heartberry Memories, and it's basically about the love that we have in our life and the connection to community and family. And this is the heartberry flower, the white flower, and then all the strawberries, the heartberries. And well, in Anishinaabe culture, the heartberry is really prominent and very important symbol because it's in all of our ceremonies, even in wedding ceremonies. And we usually teach our kids how to like berry pick, and we teach them the importance of this berry and this sweet, tasty berry, and we see the joy in their eyes as they discover how sweet it is. Yeah, so I want to share that with you. And yeah.
Well, if you're ready, we could do the video so you can continue talking and you let me know. I found your YouTube site, so.
Oh yeah, can you find the one that talks about the murals? That would be good.
Sure, I'll just share and make sure I see this. So this is your site. Which one is it? This one, Mural Season?
Let's see. A little bit down, I think.
This one?
Is that it? No, there's a little bit more. There's a
Okay.
few videos that we made. It should be, where is it? Maybe it's the visual artist and jeweler. Hold on. Let's try the blessings one. Let's try that one.
Which one? That is the
It's,
one.
sorry, can you scroll down just a little bit more?
Over a couple to the right there, Julie.
Okay. Right there.
Yeah.
This one.
Just
Oh, got it.
yeah.
Okay. And let me know if you can see it. You should be able to.
Oh, let's see. Oh, okay, that's not the one. Sorry. Can we go back? My apologies. I actually thought that mural one was on my website. So there should be one that's about, maybe it is more the recent. So let's go to the top. So
Indigenous murals, this one, 29 seconds.
where is that? Oh yeah, let's, no, there should be a longer one. Super video. It should be
Mural season.
up more, up more.
Oh, how I make murals. Here we go.
There you go. Yeah, that one.
Okay.
That's my most recent mural project. That was actually in the springtime.
This mural series is a part of a community collaboration.
It was a big struggle for me to find female artists to mentor with as I was growing and learning. And I know it's challenging to be supported in the arts community, let alone Indigenous arts community, which is a lot smaller. Usually how I approach the design is, first of all, I meet the people that I'm working with and I find out what it is that they'd like to see. And then I see how open they are to my designs. And then I look at the spaces. So I look at each of the walls. I kind of get an idea of scale and what that area is used for. Sometimes I'll go back to my house and I'll just kind of reflect on, okay, what is the feeling or the emotion or the teaching that I want to reflect in that space? What is it I want to present? Then I'll know. There was one really long wall. It was just a light beige wall and it was really long. And right away I was like, I could do a really big floral on that. And they're like, we like the florals, but we just want it not as bright. So I took my cue from that, wrote toned down colors of floral because they already said yes to the floral. So I still get what I want and then they get what they want. There's a win-win. And then for the opening area, it's like the main entrance for the residents. So I wanted that one to be bright and welcoming. And I wanted to have like a big symbol, probably one or two images. I knew that. I knew I wanted turquoise because that really brightens up the room. And then I would just had to figure out what was that image. And that image came to me later. I went through like a whole bunch of my different designs and I was like, you know what? Everyone loves eagles. And I was like, this is perfect. And it's like, you're going to see this big eagle span when you walk into the open space, into the entryway. And it's going to be like a hello. You know, it's like going to be a big greeting with the sun in it. And yeah, it's going to be welcoming people in the space and just like uplifting that area. Yeah. I knew I wanted to do something with nature because they have a molding in the middle of the wall and the upper part of the wall they wanted to have a mural on. And I knew I wanted something like calming and peaceful, but also something that speaks to the mountains and nature because you're inside a building, but this area, once you walk outside the building, all around you can just see the mountains and the sky. So I really wanted to bring some of the outside in a mountain form. So I didn't know if I wanted to do natural. So I did a bunch of sketches of different kind of landscapes. It would be really pretty to do that in like a geometric beadwork style. So like a lot of these triangle shapes and then there's beadwork designs in there. And I did that in shades of blue to bring in the sky. Each laundry room has like a big window, but it's like a really high window. So when you look out it, you just see the sky and mountains, right? So I want to kind of reflect that and bring that commonality into it. This is for the entryway. So this is the turquoise background. There's the black outline. This is the red oxide that I use a lot. It's related to the red ochre, which is a traditional pigment that we use in a lot of our regalia and also like in the pictograph. And then yellow ochre and then titanium. And so this is the design of the eagle. It's just a sketch. I usually just do an outline sketch to kind of give them an idea of what it's going to look like overall. And this is what I came up for with the laundry room. So these are the mountains, Milkamine Valley Mountains, and then there's bears in there. There's a lot of bears in those mountains. And then this one, I decided to do the blue color scheme, so it brings the sky into the mountains. So these are the sky colors, and then it goes into the darker shades here for the geometrics. My favorite, this is a really big sketch because it's a 60-foot long wall, and it was just like no windows, no doors. And so I was like, I'm gonna make this the biggest floral ever. And the building is called the Ambrosia Building. So ambrosia is an apple, and it was created in this valley, and it was like created from the bees. It was first discovered here in the 90s. So we're doing the ambrosia apple. So there's the apple right here. There's the buds right there. And then this end, this is the blossom. This is the apple blossom. So this would be the center, and then it goes out this long. So this is half. That's the center, and then I repeat the design again this way. So it's a really, really long wall. I did the reds, but I did them toned down with this is that the red ochre color that I like to use, and then toned it down from there. And then these are the greens, a little bit darker green, and then a light, brighter green. So it tones it down from like the bright reds and oranges and yellows that I would usually use. But it's kind of like a nicer transition in the building. It's all like beige, so it has like a nice transition through this space. I think to bring me in was both an great opportunity for me, but also for them to be able to kind of share an Indigenous culture. But also I work with some other young women in the community. They're emerging artists, so I'm using these opportunities to bring in other emerging Indigenous artists and to teach them what I do and to share with them that process of creating the mural and how do we apply it to the wall and how do we complete the mural in a professional manner. I teach them about why I choose these images and what these images represent. And it's really cool because they understand, like they already have the Indigenous worldview, so they understand like the relationship between animals and plants and nature. And they also understand the design of florals because they do florals here, and they understand the design of geometric shapes. So one of them does beadwork, another one is a graphic artist, but they're both come from traditional background and upbringing. So these designs are really common in our lifestyles. So there's a really good connection there. And sharing it in that space, I think creates better relationships too with Indigenous and non-Indigenous people to share a story and also to create something beautiful in that space for them. It's a really good crew. We all get along really well, and we all kind of understand each other's art, and they understand what my goal is when I'm painting these images. Always like really just put my intention to be positive and supportive to them throughout the process, that they can have a really good experience while we're creating murals, because that's one of the best parts of like working with a group of artists when you're muraling, is having the collaborative part, having each other share each other's visions or ideas, but also just like the camaraderie and just working with each other and learning along the way. And then you find this sweet spot, because the beginning is kind of like you're just getting used to the new space, you're getting used to where the storage is and how we're going to go about our days and the planning. And then we get into a rhythm. Once we're in that rhythm, it's just smooth sailing, and it's just us painting all day and enjoying that part of the process. But at first, it's kind of surprising to the people that are living there, like, oh, what are you guys doing? Oh, we're painting some murals for you guys. And just greet them and just give them a little information so that they can process why we're there and what we're doing. We're not breaking into the building creating murals and illegally, we're creating murals and making the building beautiful for them. And we're friendly and we greet them, and people just do a daily check-in and see like how far we've come in our mural, and they're like, oh, looking good today. And it's usually really positive feedback, and we're developing a relationship with the people that work there, really friendly and supportive as well. We share the maintenance room with the maintenance guys, and so far they've been really gracious to us, even though we've been messing up their room a bit. Yeah, it's been all around a really good experience, and it's also socializing us, because it's a really small community. We're there to visit for a little while, make the space transformed into more of a welcoming space, and also just be friendly to people that are there. We did do a mural on the first floor laundry room and the second floor laundry room. And then the people on the third floor were like, hey, what's going on? We're not getting our mural. And so I was like, I don't know. Well, this is in the contract. And then they're like, well, we're going to ask about this. And then it was kind of funny, because I heard one of the older gentlemen, he's like, asking, he's like, why are you guys ostracizing us and we're not getting a mural? And I was like, oh, that's so cute. He's like fighting for us, and they're like, no, we're gonna get a mural on the third floor too. So they got us, actually the people that live in that building got us another job for the third floor, which I thought was really cute. I was like, thanks for getting us another job.
You guys got some talent. Like you guys have measurements that you like go off of?
We made a giant stencil.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Which is like
And you kind of make the lines.
it's a mirror image basically.
Gotcha.
So we just made a half a stencil for the whole wall and then just flipped it, taped it down, and then.
What a beautiful story. Very beautiful. And Sharif, I like the community aspect of it as well. Really, really interesting.
Yeah, it was good to like put together this video, because it's kind of like you don't really get the background, like the whole story when you see a mural, but there's like, there's steps along the way, and then there's like the community building that murals bring, and then the creating a bigger, stronger artist community here too, which is.
I like how you used other artists as well, because I noticed other people there and I went, oh, and then you mentioned that was wonderful. So what a beautiful story. We'll stop at this
The
point.
Canadian Women's Foundation funding prioritizes inclusion
And I'm going to
addressing
stop
barriers to
sharing.
access.
I have to figure out how to stop playing it. Any questions for Sharifa at all about her art? Ishana, go ahead.
Just totally out of curiosity, how long does that whole process take you? Say, for instance, not necessarily when you get the job, but like from the design to the end.
Oh, okay. The design, I usually take a week or two to figure out the details of the design and the colors that I'm going to choose. And then after I have that design time, then it takes anywhere from 1 to 4 weeks, I guess, depending on the size of the mural. Yeah. For the big space, so for the eagle, for example, that actually took us like a week to do that. That's 3 of us. So the first day was just painting the whole turquoise, because we already had I already knew what design we're gonna do. And I already picked out my paints like beforehand. So we started Monday, we did the turquoise, and then Tuesday we projected onto the wall. and we just basically used chalk to draw it out, and then Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday was just all filling in, and then it was done.
It's beautiful.
Great.
Thank you.
And we have some questions, and I just want to know, we have struggling with other artists, the two other artists entering. Is Martina or Adam on?
I think there were some people trying to get in.
Yeah, and I
But-
thought I let them in, but I'm not seeing them. But we'll continue the conversation because we do have some questions in the chat.
Okay.
And one of the questions was around, I would like, this is from Jan Paul Leal. I would like to know how you were approached to showcase your art at the federal government. Have you done any work with the federal government?
No, I haven't. I actually I was invited to showcase my artwork at the Indigenous Leadership or the Indigenous Women's Leadership Forum in Vancouver. So, and then in that communication, I asked if I could attend the event, and then I went to meet a bunch of people, and then I was invited from there to speak with you guys today.
Okay, perfect. That's where Vanessa met you, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, and Vanessa, we're getting questions around making introductions to PSBC, and that's the reason for this meeting. It's really to kind of say, hey, this is the artist we've met, and so Vanessa, when she meets an artist, or Chris, or Wade, we don't lose sight of that person and try to bring them into the fold as far as introductions. We may not have work right away, but maybe someone at PSBC or a project manager is working on a project, and we can include your art. And for those of you, even if we're not painting directly on walls, sometimes there are heritage requirements. We can work with the artists to come up with a design, whether that be applied through vinyl on windows, for example, or through other means. That's something we're absolutely looking at. So painting is one way. We're doing one project in Ottawa that's a tint. So we have because it's outdoor and we need to protect it, so that we're using tints, but we're using an artist design and applying tints through the tint company. So there are many different ways to apply these beautiful murals. Go ahead.
I was just gonna add to that. So there's 3 different ways I've done murals. So what the first is like old school, hands-on, and then the second one is also licensing my images for somebody else to paint it, or to put it on vinyl, and then the vinyl sheet is like a vinyl kind of giant sticker that's applied to the building or to a window. And then the other one is a movable mural, which is like basically a really large canvas that can be painted, say like in my studio, and then shipped somewhere. So I've done that too. So there's different ways you can go about it. It just depends like what's more accessible to you, and to what you're looking for.
Yeah, and we know this, not every building is created the same, and you have different rules, and you want to represent different departments within the building, so and different heritage requirements. So for those of you who don't know, every time we add a piece of Indigenous art to one of our buildings, it becomes cultural property. We documented it will be preserved under cultural property requirements that are set out in our contract and future contracts. So those have to be maintained as cultural property, whether it be movable or fixed, cultural assets as well. So we do have that process. Any other questions for Sharifa?
I have one more thing just to kind of introduce. So I'm also a jeweler. I've been doing jewelry, like forming, metalwork and engraving for a number of years, about 10 years. And I just created a new line. It's a new brand. It's called Silver Feather. So this is my card. And it's all sterling silver jewelry and with Indigenous designs on it. And I'm working to get this brand across Canada as the first Indigenous jewelry, high-end jewelry. What was that? Product anyways. And I just want to show you a couple pieces that I have like right here. So this one's a Thunderbird design. This is an Anishinaabe symbol, and it means protection. And so this is all sterling silver. There's like a little design. Don't mind my nails. I didn't move my nails. But there's a little signature that I have on the back, and it has a 925 stamp. And then I have, this is probably one of my favorite designs. So this one is a feather design. It's just a feather pendant. And then I have matching earrings that go with the set. But it's just a design, a brand that I created and launched last month with silverfeather.co.
Okay, so everybody, silverfeather.co.
Yeah.
You can go to her website. It's almost Christmas. That's why we planned this one to be like our Christmas shopping. I've already bought one of Sharifa's designs. And I went, because of Vanessa, I went online, and my credit card is suffering because of you, Vanessa.
Okay.
And I bought
think
one of Sharifa's designs.
I have to turn off my effects so that you guys can see it better here. Sorry. So I should have worn it. Sorry.
It's all good.
I was wearing it at our last meeting. So this is Sharifa's design. So when I met Sharifa in Vancouver, I thought, boy, her name sounds familiar, you know, and then it turns out I actually have one of her art pieces that are on a shawl. So yeah, so I introduced this to Julie as well. So she shopped, and I actually purchased this shawl when I was at the Millbrook Cultural Center in Millbrook, Nova Scotia. So I picked up her design there. So yeah, small world.
So this design is the honoring our life givers shawl, and this is produced by a company called Native Northwest, and they carry some of my designs, and they put that on clothing or like giftware.
Yeah, they have lots of really nice stuff. I bought the turquoise one to that. So Vanessa and I, if we were traveling together, wouldn't be looking the same. But yes, so that's, what's the website again? Native?
That one is nativenorthwest.com.
.com.
So yeah, and they carry a lot of different artists across Canada. So it's a really diverse set of designs that you can find on there.
Yeah, and I bought some other stuff like for Christmas gifts for everyone. And so there's lots of different designs and products you can buy on there as well. I know we were hoping to get Adam and but it looks like technology is not cooperating with them. I saw them trying to get in, and I think it's just if they're still on, but I don't think they are.
Can you give them a phone call maybe just to check, or like send them an email, just tell them to try again?
I don't have phone numbers.
I had Sherry try to reach out to Martina, but it wasn't going through either.
Yeah. Okay. So what I'm going to do is everybody, I'm just going to highlight their websites as well. So let me just give it, let's start with Adam, because he has some great pieces. I follow him on Instagram as well, and I'm still waiting to buy a piece from him because he does for my cottage, and a lot of his stuff sells very quickly. So I would encourage you to reach out to him as well if you're looking for a specific piece, but I'm just going to get that squared up. We met Adam a while back, and he does some wonderful work. He even did a mock-up of a side panel on a building and what he could apply using vinyl. So hopefully you should be able to see this. So this is Adam's website. He's based out of the Pacific
Adam
region.
Lewis, cool.
Yes, Adam Lewis. Beautiful artwork. And he does some commissions. They're quite affordable. Like I said, well, I have a $400 to $600 to spend for myself on Christmas. What do you have? He's located in the Campbell River, and does some wonderful. So he does jewelry, driftwood. His driftwood pieces are great too. But he sells out quite quickly. So these are his different driftwood pieces.
Wow.
See, he sells out.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Then he does commissions as well. He does garage doors as well, and regular doors. He does hand tufted rugs as well. Let's look at his murals because they're beautiful.
Mhm.
So these are the doors. See the
Oh,
garage
wow.
doors?
I think I've seen that actually on Instagram. That's really pretty.
Yeah, and he has a lot of followers on Instagram. He did look at this elevator wrap.
Is that one a vinyl,
I
or
think
is
it's
that like
vinyl.
painted?
I don't know. I know he does vinyl as well.
I think
Yeah,
it might be
and his
vinyl.
painting is with spray paint.
Oh,
Okay,
Even
like
like hit, yeah, even on hit like the canvases there, it's spray paint.
wow.
okay, and he does jewelry as well. He had a Christmas series. I think he might have been sold out as well. Let's look at some of his prints. So he does a lot.
Oh,
And
beautiful.
yeah, and these can be applied very in big situations. And that's what really attracted us to his artwork is the ability to apply it to a building.
Yeah, because if it's a digital image, it's you can just scale it up, right?
Yes, absolutely. He did a mock-up on
It's beautiful.
Instagram of it on a side of a building, and I went, wow, and I just can't find it, unfortunately. So some wonderful. So if you go to Adam Lewis Art, you can buy some stuff as well. But hurry,
That's why I couldn't find it here.
yeah, he's almost out of his stuff. Every time I
He's
go,
yeah, and he's on Facebook and he does a lot of drops on Facebook, but they
Mhm.
like they sell out pretty quickly on there too.
That's good.
so he's all,
But we can't share any of that on the chat.
well, Instagram, I definitely don't have access through my computer. They won't let me.
Yeah.
Oh,
No.
wow.
Okay.
Yeah, he has some earrings for sale too.
Yeah.
Put it on there.
So the next, and he's a wonderful person. If anybody wants to reach out and cannot get a hold of him, I do have his
Reminder
email.
for tomorrow
So,
at 12 p.m.
oops.
That wasn't me.
I know. Hold on.
In
I think it's
the block.
Priyanka. Her thing's not on mute.
If
There we go.
okay, good. So well, let's go to Martina. And Martina, she developed a coloring book. I just bought it and out of from Amazon, and I'm going to bring up her website as well. And we'll go over her story. Now, she was recommended. She's a close friend of a coworker of ours, and what a wonderful story because they used to work together in Banff, and just a wonderful story. So, and Martina, my twin and I were born in northern BC in 1976 to 16-year-old mother. There were many residential school survivors in our family, including our grandmother. We were put up for adoption shortly after our birth and grew up in Delta, BC. With wonderful parents and two older brothers, my life was happy and full of love. My parents were always open about us being First Nations and encouraged us to explore our Haida ancestry. She moved to Lake Louise, Alberta, and that's where she met our coworker, Sherry, and that's how we got introduced. So we've been using her coloring book, which you can buy on Amazon. If you look for her, it's a beautiful coloring book. I have it, and I in my library as well, and absolutely worth the purchase for your kids, for yourself. If you want to color them and put them up as art in your house, many different options available as well. So what a beautiful story. She's just such a wonderful person, Martina. And yeah, so if you're looking for a great purchase for your children as well, I bought the coloring book for myself. So, so lots of great artists, some different great stories. And really, it's about bringing Indigenous art into our buildings. That's the main purpose of this, and community outreach. So one of the things we do, we want to help support youth programs as well. If there's anything that you want to work with the youth, I know I see a few people from our Pacific office here. So please, reach out if you would like to do a youth program. We did one in Ottawa with Indigenous youth, and it was their first art piece they ever did.
Oh, wow.
And that can be very powerful, and they got to learn their cultural heritage while producing an Indigenous art piece. So we did that with the Pierre Elliott Trudeau school. They're like grade 2 to 2 to 5
That's pretty
that
cool.
produce it. Yeah, it's really cool. And the pieces are beautiful, and they're in display in our buildings. So we've done 2 sets, and we're on our 3rd project in different buildings in Ottawa. So we fund all of the supplies. I know I pay it. I email him the money. We get the money back from PSPC. It's not a lot of money, but it's anything to do to help them. And then we digitize it and we help communicate the student's story as well. Okay.
Okay. Well, thank you for inviting me. I really appreciate that.
Well, thank you. And unfortunately, the 2 other artists, I know we were having technology problems. So, and thanks again, Sharifa, for coming in early, making sure we had one person who didn't have technology problems, because I could see them trying to enter and it wasn't, I pressed accept and it just.
It's not easy. Technology is not easy. I'm telling you.
So
thank you so much.
Well, you're welcome, everybody. I'm also going to share our new website. It's called 2 Paths. We're still saying, hey, we want to make changes, etc. And I'm going to put
I also just wanted to mention that we will be putting Sharifa's name as well in the design catalog.
Yes, thank you very much. I do have to update it. I am behind. So I will be doing that probably in later December. So I'm just going to put in the chat our new 2 Paths website, which kind of houses everything. It's open to you too, Sharifa. If you want to share, please do share. And I'm going to start sharing that online as well. So this is our 2 Paths website. And it's really about putting all of our information in one area. So we have 2 Paths, which is our path to reconciliation. It's a guidebook. It's a booklet that tells any company or any group how they can build their reconciliation journey. We have our stories, which is through our sharing circle, podcast and YouTube, talk a little bit our people, knowledge, our marketplace, and then our design. So in this one, if you click on here, you'll go into details of the 5 pillars of our 2 Paths. And I won't do that because it'll click and go to that. So the sharing circle is here. Really, it's about sharing stories. You can go into our YouTube site as well. This is our first episode that we did. And then we have our podcast. We did our first French one here, but if you go and click there as well on Spotify, you'll see all of the other series and have a listen. We have our new Sharing Circle newsletter here. I'm just finalizing December's. I'm working with Vanessa, Chris, and Wade on that. And then we have all about our people, which are key to our path to reconciliation. Really is we count on all of our team members. I look at the project team and bringing artists there, and we have an episode about Meet the Team, and then you get to meet Vanessa and Chris as well. And then we have our knowledge, and we've done a lot of work to build our knowledge, do training. We have our Indigenous liaisons. We are working with our team to reach out to Indigenous elders, friendship centers. That's a picture of us at the North Bay Friendship Center, and I guess attending local community events like powwows, etc. So it's all about learning. And then we have our marketplace, featuring our Indigenous partners. Today you saw the design series. So we have 2 sets, just the marketplace and then the design series, which includes artists as well as general contractors that are applying design within within BGIS buildings, mostly project focused. But here you can go and you can see some of our different suppliers highlighted. And then we go into our design series. We have our design catalog there. We will be updating. I did it in September. I need to do another update with all of these great artists. And then one of our original marketplace design series that we did as well. So really our aim is by creating more inclusive spaces, and we can build a better future. We increase opportunities for artists like this. We increase opportunities to tell these stories. So that's what our role is. We want to do that. Hopefully you can be part of that. Many of you are decision makers on purchasing and projects. So remember to start asking, and if you need any help, you have Chris, you have Wade, you have Vanessa, you even have myself. who has all of this documented. And
Okay.
any questions from anybody?
Yes, Julie, is that a public website?
It's not searchable yet. I'm working with Steve Mahoney.
Okay,
But
I was just going to say, can we put a link on our actual website to this?
I asked him to do that, but he needs to approve it. So yes,
Okay.
I sent to him this week. I said it would be nice just to put the link in our website, but
Yeah.
yeah. So right
We
now,
really need to build up that information on our public website, like for all around Indigenous engagement.
yes, and in the absence of that, I built this. So if we have to, we could just include a link, but it needs to be more searchable. But yes, eventually we'll get there, Rosalina. This is the first step.
Okay.
Blah, blah, blah. Reading Susie's like gigantic email about progress reports.
Oh, sorry, we can hear you. And anyway, so for anybody questions, any questions? And thank you, Sharifa, for presenting. Any closing remarks, any notes of wisdom? I'm gonna love to, Chris, you know I'm gonna put you on the spot.
Anytime, Julie. Thank you very much, Sharifa, for the presentation, and yeah, it's just amazing work, and look forward to working with you in the future. Pacific Region team, please note her contact information, and we'll be chatting more about Sharifa. Thank you.
Okay, great. And again, thank you everyone for spending some time with us, meeting some other artists. Unfortunately, they couldn't be here. We'll see you another time, and keep an eye out. Our next series might be January. Vanessa and I haven't decided on the date yet. So more to come. Thank you, everyone. And Vanessa and Chris and Wade, if you could stay on, that would be wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you.
Miigwech.
Bye. Miigwech.
Thank you. Take care. Thanks.